So really, there really is only all is this. That's all that's really being shared here. And then we can take a look at some reasons why it really feels, and we're not discounting that all is not this. That, hey, I feel separate and I don't like it. And I want to not feel separate. And that doesn't feel part of all is this. And so here we don't do anything about that. There's no attempt made to change, alter, get involved with. Because you're always here prior to whatever's arising. Right? Otherwise, what would know it? How do you know you just had a thought? This had to be here first. So this is always here. And so, of course, the me, which doesn't exist, says, yeah, but how do I know that? How do I know that's true so I feel it? Well, there's a problem. What's being pointed to here isn't imagined, is not imagined, what's being pointed to. It's not to do with imagination or thoughts or feelings. It's always here. Just resting, always at peace. It doesn't know how to judge. For judging, you need separation. The object and the one judging it. And it seems like the thoughts have kind of a gravitational pull. The thoughts feel real, they seem real. And the closest analogy I can give is a nighttime dream. When you're having a nighttime dream and you're in the middle of the dream, it feels completely real. Even if part of you goes, no way, I can't be flying. And yet your experience is, I'm flying. So the one who's in the dream, let's say that one was a seeker. The one in the dream was a seeker, and they really felt separate from the dream. What would the one in the dream that's seeking have to do to become one with the dream?
Have another thought.
Well, the one seeking a way out of the dream is also part of the dream. So it's never going to get out of the dream.
No, sorry.
Oh, yeah, no worries, Alice. But the thing is, what happens when you wake up from the dream? So in the morning, you open your eyes and you just had quite the dream. And in that moment, there's a dawning, right? What's the first thing? Oh, it was a dream. Now, in that moment, watch this. In that moment, when you open your eyes and go, oh, it was a dream. Where's the dream? Where's that whole event? The one seeking, the one going to gurus, the one reading books. Where is that one? When you wake up in the morning, nowhere, not a whiff.
May I ask, when I wake up from a dream, so let's say it's in my case, a dream often has some kind of an unresolvable issue. So when I wake up, I feel relief that, oh, like you said, it's just a dream. However, to what I wake up to is what is here referred to also as a layer of a dream. Like I wake up to, oh, okay, I got to get up and, oh, I shouldn't drink coffee now because it's not good for me. Or, you know, I get into what I consider the me. I wake up to the me in the morning. No?
Yeah, yes, Peter, the same unresolvable issue. That's the me. That's
Yeah,
what
it's a
we always
different
point
layer.
to.
It's a different layer, though.
Yeah,
One we all agree upon, it's just a dream, and the other one most of us agree upon it's reality.
right, but they're both dreams.
Right.
But the point is, Peter, when you're in the middle of your dream at night, it's actually, you're actually dreaming. It doesn't seem like a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So in that dream at night, if you were, let's say going to see Muji or something, there could be getting on an airplane and, flying to Portugal, and it can all seem so real. And that's what we forget is at night, how real they can be. And then we wake up and our brain goes, oh, but this is different. This is reality. This is solid.
Right.
And so really, this is questioning that.
Right.
But it's kind of something you have to do on your own. No one can do it for you. And for some of us, it just became intolerable. The pain of not getting what I wanted. The pain of seeing it never, ever, ever worked out. Sooner or later, something went south. And I finally said, I can't do it. I don't have a clue.
I get it, Michael. May I offer an alternate reality of this second layer of dream, that there is hope. There is hope. I don't feel like I feel that much pain. I feel unhappy and frustrated and this and that and challenged. But the key element of the dream is if I only followed the tools or would practice harder, or if I did this or that, or if I could start over 20 years ago, or just hope scenarios that I'll get there sometime. Just it's another version of that dream.
Peter, this is the dream right now.
Right, we could call it big dream and little dream, but they're both dream. Dreaming is the thing we're pointing to. It's this quality of dreaming. And yes, it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Peter.
No, I can, I was just trying on what is being suggested here. And it's clear what the dream is. It's just all the stories that we come up with and what that we buy into and project out. And
All right, let's
Yeah.
let's
And
go.
trying to solve the problem.
Right.
in the dream at night, or okay, when I wake up and I'm still here trying to solve my problem.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
So I'm pointing it to that, this is the dream already. It's already in progress. It gets overlooked because it's so present that we don't, it's like it's not counted. Just take this in, that this is already the dream and you're already not in it.
Right. It's like when you wake up and you see, oh, wait a minute, I wasn't in that dream. All that stuff that was going on that was so real, it's not. It's just, it was not even anything. Well, that's what this is. It's real as that dream. Hey, it's a real dream. But there is no one in this dream.
Yeah, that's the same thing as saying there are no parts to a dream. So even though it feels like you're the star of the dream and, there's other people that are separate from you, again, it's all one seamless dream. There's no separation in the dream. So the one that's playing your part is just as much you as a rock in the dream.
It's back to your old analogy with the movie screen and the projector.
Right. I heard a beautiful one somebody left on a post I did a couple days ago. He was pointing out, he said something about the reflections may move, but the mirror never moves.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
You can say the same thing about the body. The body moves, but the formless self is still.
Beautiful. Yeah, so the formless self is the mirror.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And the
actually,
dream, I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say. Oh,
Go ahead. You go ahead.
oh, I will go ahead. I was just
Yeah.
going to say that, we could also just say that there isn't any body. Body is an idea, it's a word, but really the body is just something moving along with everything else moving. It's just one of the moving appearances that is not it's just part of this whole big moving thing. And a shape of it, an aspect of it.
And you can say maybe the dream is that you are the body.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
Yeah, in a way, you can say that the me is a sense of location. And, to have you need a location to have a perspective. And that's what a dream is. You're looking at something from a particular perspective. So in a way, it's a requirement. If there wasn't the perspective, everything would.
And that's what we call reality. Reality is this thing that seems to be something special from a particular perspective. So you have that whole structure working together, and it creates this, this thing that seems to be real, so-called real, when really it's just it's an illusion. That's the word we use, illusion, created by this particular perspective, this identifying as a location, as a, but this location isn't here. This is what we're always pointing to. There's no location here. That's what we mean by just this. Just this doesn't have a location. It's not a perspective. And it can't be described. It can't be really understood or really, explained. But it is obvious. It's just this without this imposition of a perspective, and then again, that's where we get a story. Perspective starts the story. And it seems to make a reality. And it seems to make something being lived. When there's just this, without any of that.
This is an open meeting. Everybody's invited to participate. So if you have a comment or question, please feel free to unmute and jump in.
I was thinking recently about illusion not being real, but it's just not what we perceive it to be. It could be real, but not what we perceive it to be. But we're not real either. Maybe a projection.
Leighton, I heard Nisargadatta Maharaj quoted one time as saying, "There is no such thing as experience of reality."
Yeah, good, Thomas, because you need a someone to experience it.
Right, and that it doesn't really mean that there's no reality. Maybe, you could say it's all reality, it's all real, whatever. But what does that mean? Really? The experience of reality means this is something that I know. Really is what it means. It means there's a knowing of something going on here. And what I know is what it is. My perspective is what it is. And that is what really isn't here. I think that's what Nisargadatta was pointing to, was saying. There's a reality maybe, but there's no experience of reality, because to experience reality, well, that really means that it's a story. It begins a story of what's going on and a knowing of what it is. And that's never real. Because there is no place, there's no place here to look at what's here and say what it is. And this is it. This is it right here. No one knows what it is. No one's experiencing it.
Yeah, that was one of the things Tim Kliss said, that's he thought one of the beautiful things about this message is that no, nobody can know this better than anyone else. He just said he found that so freeing, that there's just no expert, no, because it's unknowable. So say what you will.
Right. If I'm the expert, that means I have the position that is that it's the expert position. I have the right perspective, right? But there is no perspective on this. That's the thing. There is no position. And we are all in the no position. I mean, there is only no position, and that's what all of this is. That's what every so-called one is, in that exact no position. And any kind of position that would seem to be here is just a story showing up. But stories don't have any ability to limit this at all. That's the freedom.
The me in this perspective, then the me could be seen as an illusionary bubble from where to see other illusionary bubbles.
Right. Yeah, it creates a whole world inside that bubble.
And also it creates a perspective to identify other bubbles.
Yeah, that's
Separate
part of the
entities.
world, sure. And all the stories of all the different bubbles. Yeah. My bubble and your bubble and what's good. Yeah, exactly. That's good. But this isn't a bubble. That's the whole point. This is what we're pointing to. And again, that can't be explained. It can't be, understood what's a bubble and what's no bubble. I mean, but, it can kind of become obvious that this isn't a bubble. There's no bubble here. There's something that this is that isn't contained in a bubble or a story or anything. And as I've said it, as I'm saying these words, it's already something completely different. It's already moved on, but it's always the same. It's moving and it's not going anywhere. Moving in place, you could say.
So it's not that you get anything. You don't get anything. In a way, you lose something. You lose the burden of those heavy, heavy stories that are so draining in every way. That's it.
I like what Paul Hederman says, you're traveling lighter.
Ha, you read my mind. Yeah, because there's still your normal interactions. So you're still the difference is you already know you don't know how to do it. So then you just find yourself getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth, using the toilet, whatever. You just notice that everything just seems to be happening all by itself. And you just kind of observe it, and it's stunning.
Well, it's seen that there isn't anywhere to get to, nowhere to go. It's already where it is. It's already where it's going. And this me is just this need to get there. I need to get to that, I need, I need to get there. Need to get to there, to the place that I am not, I need to move to that other state that will be okay. So, yeah, you lose that. You lose that need, or apparently,
Mhm.
that never was.
And that other desired state then is often idealized as this permanent 24/7 light experience where everything is just totally harmonious and nothing could ever throw it off balance. Like it's an illusion of an absolute state. And this is not a state.
No.
Right.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah, but you could have
everything
that state
includes
too,
everything.
and that would be, sorry?
I was just gonna say, this is not a state because this includes everything. It's not defined as one particular appearance or experience defined as such. Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
No, I was just gonna say that you could also have that state, and that's this too.
Yeah. There's no escape.
Yes, you could have that state, and that's this too. And I believe what's being talked about here is that the me is characterized as the search for something static, permanent, that is defined as something unique, like enlightenment or fully awakened, and 24/7 fully awakened permanently.
I
Yeah.
would say that that's the final illusion is to realize that that's not even, it's about identity more than a state. It's to know what you truly are, this formless self that you are, or spirit, if you come from a Christian background. Then a state, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't classify this as a state. It's more of a identity. So you're not the body. You think you're the body, but you're not the body.
Yeah, a state
Mhm.
is defined as something that requires a person to have a state or be in a state.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
artificial thing. It's not
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
It's,
but
a-
it goes
it's-
back to, it's all this, so it doesn't matter. I mean, you could say, you could define what a state is or what a state isn't, but if it's just happening. So I guess what I keep coming back to is that we're using different terms to define things or not define things, but to me, they're all the same, meaning whatever's happening is already happening. That is this. So I think we're kind of, I mean, this is just my opinion. It feels like it's spinning the wheels a little bit the more we keep trying to define what it is or isn't. It already is.
Right, and spinning the wheels, of course, would be also this.
Exactly. You can't avoid, as the Tao says, you can't avoid it.
Yeah, but that's what I like about this place is that we're spinning our wheels. That's why I'm here.
And that's wonderful because that's this too. Whatever works for you, it to me, it's still about it's experiencing. It's not I'm experiencing necessarily. It's just what's experiencing. Experiences are happening, and it sounds like we're trying to define whether it's a state or not a state. For me, it is a state. It's a boundless, formless state. It's an experience, but for somebody else, that might sound like a definition of the me, and that's okay for them. But for me, so to speak, there's the me. It's perfect because it's all this. You can't avoid it. So that was my 2 cents for tonight.
Some of that reminds me a little
Great.
bit of, I once alienated a prospective romantic person partner or whatever by saying that I intended to never take any action on my own behalf for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then I took it back because I could see how mad they were, but then I sent an email, a text message back and saying, I have to tell you that I have to take it back. I do not intend to take any actions on my own behalf. I'm sorry. And that was it. Don't ever contact me again. Just a funny joke.
Yeah.
Funny
Nothing
thing.
that we say here is to be taken as dating advice.
No doubt, especially from me.
Nkosi, welcome.
Hello, Michael. Hello, everyone.
I'm Nkosi.
There's
And Nkosi.
We're trying to find what's here that's not imagined.
It's already here.
There's just what seems to be happening. And what seems to be happening has no one in it. It's just what seems to be happening. And it's actually going nowhere. It may seem as if it's going somewhere in the story of it, but it's actually going nowhere. It's just what seems to be happening. And what seems to be an individual or a separate self who's looking for this is already not there. The one who's searching, the one who's trying to find enlightenment is already everything appearing as that. So there isn't any real separate self who can seek for this and find this and claim to have found it, because there's just this even appearing as that. So anything may happen here. Question may arise, answers may arise, different ideas may arise, but it's just this appearing as that. So there isn't anything to be achieved here already, because the one who wants to achieve anything is already this. So it doesn't really matter what's happening, you know. Things are seen as just appearances in this, you know, they are not so special. Nothing is special, you know. And because everything is just an expression of this, everything is, I would say, is the same. You know, words cannot really touch this, because even words themselves are just everything or what is appearing as words. So I would say they are nothing, because there's nothing happening here. Even what seems to be an imagination, it may be seen as just everything or what is even appearing as an imagination. So it doesn't matter, you know, anything may come up here, you know, there may be a discussion about the states, different states, meditation, different kinds of meditation. That's just this appearing as that too. So it's okay. There is that sense of okayness with everything, you know, because everything is an expression of this. So everything is beautiful. Everything seems to be new in a way, because there is no past. Everything is always new, perfect and whole. Even what seems to be imperfection is perfection. So everything is beautiful for nobody. there isn't a real you who's searching already. So nothing can be found because there is already nothing searching. There's just this already appearing as an energy of seeking. So that energy of seeking doesn't belong to anyone. There is no possessor of it. It's just one of the appearances in this. It appears in this as this. So if it seems to collapse, it doesn't collapse for anyone. Or there's no one to collapse. It's just this appearing as that. The seeking, the collapsing, not getting it, it's just what is appearing as that. So getting it is beautiful. Not getting it is beautiful because there's no one there already to get anything or not to get anything. Confusion is beautiful. No confusion is beautiful. Meditation is okay. No meditation is okay because it's just disappearing as that. The doer of things is already not there. And even right now, there's just talking happening. Nothing is talking. It's not even talking. Yeah. Yeah, that's what seems to be coming up here right now.
I have a question for you, Nkosi. When you say that's what seems to be coming up or it seems to be happening, I understand, the bottom line of where you're coming from. Are you saying that because in a way it's like the illusion of there's a self that's processing? Because when you say it seems to be happening, it sort of implies there's a subject there, right? But are you purposely saying it that way as a way of explaining that that person really doesn't exist? It just seems to. Do you know where I'm going with that? It's really the word seems implies that there's someone there to seem it.
Well, I may use words, but even though words have their own limitations, sometimes that's why at times I would say this is wordless.
Mhm.
Yeah, can use words, but they can't really describe this.
Yeah, I get that, but instead of saying it seems to be happening, it resonates more to say it's happening. The seems to me brings into play a subject or an object. And I understand why, because you're clarifying the difference between it seems to be happening as opposed to it's already happened or there's no one there for it to happen to. But when you use the word seems, that's the word that's thrown, that I'm curious about. And I understand we're just using words for the sake of using words. But I guess when you say it seems to be happening, based on all is this, it feels to me more like it's just happening. It doesn't seem to be happening. It's just happening.
Well, Alan, I think, I mean, I could just step in and look, say a little something about that, because I think, I mean, Nkosi, well, just how I hear it, Nkosi said that, it came out that way. I mean, he could have said it a different way, but, you know, he was just saying and making an expression, this is how it's seeming to come out in this moment. But I think that what he might have been, the reason for him saying that is that when we talk, there automatically is an assumption that there's a person talking, that there's someone here saying something. And so I think, well, at least the way I hear it, and when Nkosi says that at the end, after he's, you know, there's been a, he's said something, he just says, well, okay, that's the way it seems to be coming out here. He's just kind of pointing to the fact that, no, there really is no one here. There isn't a person, although normally we would think so. We would just assume that, because that's the way language works. That's the way our whole, you know, perspective is. We assume that people are talking. So anyway, I don't know, maybe Nkosi would say something different, but that's just the way it seems to me. So it doesn't matter so much exactly what the words are, but there's an impulse to just kind of say, okay, well, you know, that's what seems to be showing up here. There's not a person there. There's not anything really being said. It's just what's going on.
Yeah, but I think this fact that it seems to be showing up, to kind of use your own words, that means it's showing up for somebody or something. I'm not saying it has to be
Yeah.
that, but in other words, if I say it seems to be happening versus it's happening, I feel like it's more, this is just, again, me speaking out
Okay.
loud. It feels more of a direct pointing to what already is or isn't.
Yeah.
Either way. And I don't want to get caught up in, you know, the
Yeah.
semantics of it. I'm just,
Yeah.
that's why I asked the question. I was actually curious because throwing the word seems in there, it just, to me, it felt a little more personal. That's all.
Okay.
And without using the word seems, it's happening. It's not happening. It doesn't seem like it's happening or not seem like it's happening. It's just happening. So anyway, it was really a
Well, yeah.
curiosity. It wasn't so much
That's
like
good.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
outsmart the situation, you know, or maybe I am. So I don't know.
No, but it's a good question because we're in this bind when we talk. There seems like, I mean, it seems that there's a real feeling and assumption that there's somebody talking, you know, that there's a person talking. So that's already here. So we say these little things like, Nkosi would just say, well, okay, well, that's what's coming out now. You know, it's appearing to how it's appearing to come out, you know. And so, yeah, but it's just, well, trying to, reacting to the fact that since we're using language, there's already this feeling that there's a person there because it's in the language. So we take a moment to say, well, okay, that's what's appearing. And then, but we can't really, it's, you know, you can't really get good language for it.
No.
So, yeah.
I don't want to be nitpicking here, but I just kind of want to say, for whatever reason, that when I hear the straight out, it's happening, I guess to me that implies there's a knower of something happening. Like there is someone that knows. I mean, I don't know how it's coming out for who's saying it, but as the listening,
Yeah.
there's a knowing. Where the seems, it's like nobody really knows. But
yeah, I agree. I think that's kind of where it comes from, why we say these words seems, appears, whatever. But also where it's all
like there's no knowing, like there's no knowing 2 seconds ago or 1 second. There's no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who the heck does Nkosi think he is saying seems to us?
It seems to me when I use those words, it seems to be happening. There's a not as an attachment to the happening. It's more like it gives it distance. So those words, I really like those words. It seems to be happening. It appears to be happening. It's like you said, it doesn't give it such validity.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's less of a determination. it's happening. I'm kind of echoing what Lila.
Mhm.
Okay,
Lila.
Lila said. You know, it's happening. Well, you know, yeah, it's all been said. I don't need to reiterate it, but I think all of it, I dig it. Yeah.
It's all beautiful.
It's also with me when pain comes up, it seems to be coming up, but it's not happening to me. There's no me to own the pain.
Right, but you could say it's happening. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, yeah,
happening.
sure, yeah, but it seems to be happening.
Well, or you can say it's happening, it's just not happening to you.
Well, then I call it seeming to be happening.
And ultimately, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
yeah,
which word we
yeah.
use, because
Yeah,
Well, doesn't matter to you, it matters to me. I think if anybody says seems, we should have some sort of a censuring process. What kind of a namby-pamby organization is this?
there should be punishment involved, yeah.
Well,
I'll never
who
use
would have
that
thought
word
a 5-letter word was gonna stimulate this kind of a conversation? See, that's what I get for, I guess I was trying to outsmart you, Nkosi, but I've been proven now to understand it in a deeper level, so thank you.
Very
You're welcome.
beautiful.
Nice, Joe. Seem to be having a field day, Joe.
I didn't want to interrupt the banter, so I finally decided to chat it.
That's great.
I have a question, just a general question for anyone in the group. So we've talked a lot about we've talked a lot about the dreamlike nature of of a waking, there's like the appearance maybe of a waking dream and a sleeping dream. The sleeping dreams seem to have a lot more start and stops, and the waking dream seems to have a lot more continuity to it. I just wondered if the weirdness and things that you see happening in the waking dream like kind of help to wake you up and to like maybe bring you to meetings like this meeting. Like, for example, like coincidence, like if you really pay attention, you start to see coincidence happening at like a preposterous levels. You're like, wow, like this place is not what I've been told it was. Something much more like a dream, or just simply literally a dream. Just wondered if anybody else has had that sort of thing lead them here and elsewhere to weird corners of the planet or whatever.
Well, Thomas, great minds think alike, because what you just said was exactly what Carl Jung was, wrote about, and his idea of synchronicity, and meaningful coincidences, that these things would appear in your just waking life. And, he kind of expressed that same thing, that maybe they have a function of kind of waking you up, because what else would they be doing? Anyway, that's kind of what
Yeah,
the idea that he had. And yeah.
I keep a log. I started keeping a logbook of them, and like it's if you keep the logbook enough, then the more you keep the logbook, the more you start to notice.
Right.
And eventually you'll spend all your time like in miracle, just recording all the miracles. You're like, I don't have time for recording miracles. I got to get back to the dream.
Right. So it has that function of just reminding me that I'm dreaming. Oh, okay. I wouldn't have noticed, except there's this weird thing that I just, it's like almost like the waking state coming out through the dream to wake you up, kind of thing. I mean,
it's almost like deja vu in the Matrix movie, where
right.
like he sees the cat and he's like, hey, I just saw a cat twice. You're like, whoa, like holy smokes, that's bad news, like deja vu.
Yeah.
So I look at like deja vu and coincidence, and
right.
I can't think of the other stuff, but as like signals, like, hey, you're in the dream, like, oh, like relax, you're in a dream.
Right. And of course, all of that is the story too. It's just, that's all we have is just stories and stories and stories.
Yeah, I was gonna throw that in earlier. I'm a fan of Carl Gustav Jung, and yet, you know, the coincidence. Yeah, coincidence. I have a friend who keeps saying connecting the dots. You know, like seeing connections and stuff. It strikes me a little bit as a lot of stories. You know, or at least for in my world. When I connect the dots, I kind of see, you know, one story linking to another story, whereas things just happen, you know, and it gets to the question of, is there meaning, and, you know, is there, what is the big plan, and who drew it up, and so a lot of opportunity for stories.
It is kind of a little bit of a wake-up call, though.
Right. And waking up is a story. Story is all we have. So dreaming is a story. Waking is a story.
As
There's
long as people
nobody.
aren't saying seems, I'm
Which
okay
is
with it. I
this.
don't like that.
So I'd like to close out this evening by asking the question, what's here, always here, that's not imagined?
Cannot be named.
I am.
As soon as you say a word, that's an imagining. Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
No, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I think it's amazing that we're able to do this every week. And thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody. Each and every, oh, go ahead, Leila.
No, I just wanted to say thank you. I just, yeah, hope that I can remember again. I have it in mind.
Let's seemingly hope so. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
everybody.
Thank you,
night.
Michael.
Good night,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye,
you.
Nkosi.
Bye.
Right.
See you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.